Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be replacing the cabin air filters on the BMW F80 M3. We're going to be using the OEM air filters. These are the part numbers. You do need two, one for the driver's side, one for the passenger. There are some screws that are only a one-time use. We'll also be posting the part numbers for those screws. So this is the passenger side engine air filter, and this is where the driver's side is. Any tools we use will also be posted down in the description down below. So the first thing we're going to want to do is remove these two panels up on top. You're going to have three 10mm plastic nuts. Now these do not come off. You're going to just turn them counterclockwise about a quarter of the way and they'll just stay in place. So the right side has three more. So this is how you're going to want to do it. Just grab yourself a 10mm on a ratchet, turn them about a quarter of the way. The plastic nuts will stay on the cover, and then you're going to need to remove this little push pin over here. Grab yourself a small panel popper and then just wedge it underneath and slowly just work it out. Once you get some out of it, you can go under the whole pin and undo the rest of it. Now once you got all this removed, you can just pull away the panel. It's going to be the same thing for the passenger side. So we just undo this push pin, take it out, and it's gonna look just like this. And then we just undo the three 10mm nuts. Again, they stay inside the panel. So once you got the push pin out and the nuts, go ahead and pull out the cover. And then you're going to see the three 13mm screws here. We're going to take those out. Now be mindful, this right here is live power, so be very, very careful. Put a rag over it or something so you don't accidentally short circuit the battery. And on the driver's side, there's three more 13mm. And in the front, you'll have two more 13mm. These are different from the ones on the top, so you'll notice these are a lot shorter. So just set these to the side so you don't get them confused. And then we're going to undo one more 10mm. That's going to be right here, holding on to the coolant reservoir. So we're just going to undo this, set the screw to the side. And then we have one more push pin. It's going to be right here. So just reach on in there, be careful, make sure you hold on to it as you're removing it. There's a chance that it can slip out of your hand and fall out, so make sure you have a good grip on it. Then we can pull back the strut tower covers, and the whole brace right here, the carbon fiber brace, will be released and we can just pull it out. That'll expose the driver's side engine air filter. A couple more things we got to remove, like this connector, this hose here, and this coolant hose. You'll see there's going to be a 6mm band clamp here. We're going to undo all this. And then for the passenger side, it's a little easier to access. All we got to do is undo all these T20 screws, the 6mm band clamp, and the connector. So we'll start off with the 6mm band clamp on the driver's side. Just loosen it up. This comes out by hand. And then this little push tab, just push it in, kind of start getting it to work out. And then this clip here, you're going to have to squeeze the tabs on the inside and pull it out at the same time. It's very difficult for me to show you on camera like this, but this is how you do it. So in order for me to actually do it, I have to block the view with my hand to get it out, so I do apologize. But it does come out pretty easy. And then the connector over here, just undo it. It's fairly easy. And then on the coolant reservoir, you're going to have one T30. Just undo the T30 and this will give you the rest of the room that you need to pull the engine air filter cover out. So the coolant reservoir will move just like this. That gives you all the space you need to pull it out. So now we have 7 T20s surrounding the airbox. Just go ahead and undo all of them, and the screws aren't going to come out. They're going to stay in the airbox, so don't worry about them falling out. But I would advise that you don't do this on top of the engine. Kind of step away from it, just in case the screws do come out of the airbox. There's a chance. You never know with these cars. You don't want the screws falling down into the engine bay. So we're going to use part number 284 for the driver's side. Just go ahead and fit it in, and then we're just going to put the cover back on. Now the torque on these screws is really low. You're looking at like 5 Newton meters, 5 to 10 Newton meters. The bit driver on a lower torque setting is just good enough. So just run them all down. And then for the passenger side, same thing, 7 T20 screws. To remove this one, we're just going to undo the one band clamp, the 6mm. Undo the connector. And then just work the air filter out. This one's a little more difficult to remove than the driver's side. It's got a few grommets and it's a bit of a tighter squeeze in here. So get a good grip on it, work it out, and then it'll come on out. Part number 283 for the passenger side. Once again, low torque setting. If you don't have a bit driver, you don't really need one. You could just run these down by hand with a ratchet. So once you get all the screws back in, go ahead and drop the air box back inside the slot here. And you're going to want to grab the intake tube and work that in first. Once you got that in, then work the air box back into its grommets and its proper installation location. Then we just put the connector back in, and the passenger side is ready. So for the driver's side, just kind of set it in place, work in these coolant hoses back onto the cover, snap in this hose and the connector. And now when you put this engine air filter back in, it's a little difficult. You'll notice that right now as I'm pushing down, it kind of bounces back up. That lets me know that it's not seated properly. So just pick it up a little bit, work it in, make sure it's seated properly. And that right there, how it just kind of snapped in, that's how you know it's good and it's not bouncing back up at you. Install the screw for the coolant reservoir, and then we can place the carbon strut back into place. These are the smaller screws that go towards the front of the car, and all these screws are going to be replaced and torqued to 28 Newton meters. So go ahead and put in the 10mm screw here for the coolant reservoir to the bracket. So you reinstall the top covers and the push pins and you're all done. Be sure to check out these 2 additional videos on your screen regarding the BMW M3 F80. We're replacing the spark plugs and the cabin air filter. So be sure to hit that like button on this video, subscribe for new videos coming out soon, and we'll see you in the next one.